The Eastern Sierra. It is a land of extremes, where the mountains rise dramatically from the desert floor and where familiar white granite meets ancient metamorphic rock. The ghost of mountains worn away by time. It's a truly unique landscape, one that I thought deserved its own route, but not just any route, an off-trail high route, one that is not limited by the confines of man-made trails and allows a hiker to forge their own path across the landscape, meeting the mountains on their terms, not ours. So I spent 3 summers scouting for a wild and challenging line that would showcase the best of this special place, following the spine of the Sierra Nevada as close as possible between 2 iconic Eastern Sierra towns, Mammoth and Bishop. The Eastern Sierra High Route stays above 10,000 feet, and roughly 80% of its 65 miles are off-trail, resulting in a line that promises adventure and beauty from start to finish.
If you just wanted to stay on the Sierra crest all the way from Mammoth to Bishop, you're going to need a rope and you're going to be on some 5th class stuff. And that excludes myself and a lot of people from a route like that. I wanted to come up with the line between those points that was the highest, most intense, and most beautiful line you could make between those points without becoming technical in any way.
Here we are at the Bishop Pass trailhead. So we're gonna get picked up by our friend here. He's gonna take us up to Mammoth. And then we're gonna hike back down here.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna hike back down here.
What?
Yeah, we're going up to Mammoth, and then you said you would hike with me back to here.
Driving away, hiking back.
Yeah. Remember the Eastern Sierra High Route? Anyway, between Clay not liking hiking and his refusal to hike on a trail, he doesn't hike on trails.
I don't really like hiking, and if it's going to be on a trail, it's not really for me.
And a rather unfavorable forecast, a lot of things could happen on this trip. And hopefully one of them is us arriving back here in 5 days or so. Why are you on a trail?
Is it with that, eh?
Yeah, so that's where we're headed. Pica Pass is that.
You start in Mammoth at the Duck Pass trailhead, and you're into it right away. Within a few miles, you're hiking off trail, and then right after that, you're on a pretty intense pass.
Ooh. Climbing over a lot of talus on this one. Top of Pica Pass at 7 in the evening. We can also see our next pass, which is Franklin Col. I don't love the looks of it. The way down looks to be a loose, steep gully. But we love those. About to start our descent down Pica. Loose class 2 in the dark. Not that smart. Good lord. Why are you going above me?
Because there's dirt right here.
Jeepers. There's Piker Pass. This is Franklin Lake. Franklin Col is the thing with the snow on it. That's Mount Mendenhall right there. What do you think of this?
Man, it's hard to tell.
Always looks worse from afar. This looks pretty bad. This is Franklin Col. So I kind of want to look over this direction more. This kind of cruddy looking line up the shoulder of Mendenhall.
That!
Yeah, that.
That's a non-technical one.
It's class 2.
It's class number 2. My pants.
This climb is almost exactly like Snow Tongue. Bad. Can you describe what we just climbed up in a few words?
It was like climbing up the devil's ass crack.
Can you, in a slightly more family-friendly fashion,
You want me to describe what we just experienced in a family-friendly way?
is that possible?
No, it's not. The kids don't want to know about that.
Our scramble up the shoulder of Mount Mendenhall was not a good pass, and there's a better looking line nearby that I'll have to try the next time I'm out there. Ultimately, it's no worse than Snow Tongue Pass, but if you've done that one, then you know that's not saying much. It didn't help that Clay had developed symptoms of altitude sickness, which is not what you want when you're about to follow a 12,000 foot ridge for several miles.
You're going to keep high, you're going to stay off trail, and then you're going to get up on the main Sierra crest and follow this route that is inspired by a high-level ski traverse called the Red Line Ski Traverse. And you're going to follow the main Sierra crest all the way to Red Slate Mountain, which you can either go up and over or you can go around. And this is so much more interesting and so much more scenic than being on the JMT through this section. And that's just, one example of how this route is a little bit more intense and challenging than the Sierra High route.
The ridgeline between Mendenhall and Red Slate is a hidden gem of the Sierra. It was still and quiet as we followed a lonely hanging valley up to the main crest, giving the sense it's a place that few people go.
So we're now up on this big plateau that is kind of just adjacent to the main Sierra crest. We're headed up there-ish to a pass called Bard Pass. And we'll go over that, and then there's a Carter Col. We'll pass by Gemini Pass, and then we'll be around Red Slate Mountain. Originally the route was going to go over Red Slate, but I think that's just too much, so we'll just kind of contour around it.
The summit of Red Slate offers some of the best views on the ESHR, but the climb is a tall order after what precedes it. If for whatever reason you're not feeling it, a beautiful route exists around its southwest side. We found ourselves in that situation on this trip, since gaining another 1,000 feet or so was not in the cards, given Clay's condition.
I'm near Big McGee Lake. It's right there. Headed up to Hopkins Pass. Sad news today. I'm hiking by myself now. Clay wasn't feeling well, and he decided to exit to the McGee trailhead from the lake down there. That's where we camped last night. I feel sad because I was really looking forward to doing this trip with him. I feel fortunate that I know the route pretty well going forward, but it is intimidating to do this kind of travel solo. But I think I'll be all right. Some weather is rolling in. You can see it's pretty cloudy. Today I have to go over Hopkins Pass, over Crocker Col, which I haven't done before, into Pioneer Basin, down Pioneer Basin, down to the Mono Creek Trail, hop over that, into Fourth Recess, up into Fourth Recess, and out of it. Should be a pretty big day because the climb up into Fourth Recess and out is pretty brutal. I did that last August, and if it's raining, it'll be even more rough. Yeah, better get moving, trying to cover as much ground before the rain starts, if it does. Right up there is Hopkins Pass, so I'll go up that and to the top.
With Clay gone, I was feeling slightly less confident about completing the ESHR. The ominous forecast didn't help, and I was heading into some of the route's most challenging and committing terrain.
Beneath that huge ridge there is Fourth Recess, and my exit point will be that notch. Down here in Pioneer Basin, up there, the low notch, that is Crocker Col. Looks pretty bad from here. Alright, so I am out of the sea of talus that was beneath Crocker Col. Man, that felt a little treacherous at times, doing a lot of moves. But now I'm in lovely Pioneer Basin. Still having good luck with the weather. It's cloudy, but seems to be holding off. Hopefully I continue to be lucky today, because I still have to head into and up and out of Fourth Recess, which, as I mentioned earlier, is quite the effort. I've made it to Fourth Recess, which is a magical part of the Sierra. What is not magical is my route up to the upper level of Fourth Recess. I'm gonna have to ascend up through the trees there and then cross diagonally above those cliffs, and then I'll be on the second level, which is without a doubt the most remote section of this route.
It's impressive on the map and looking at it in the field. There's a just massive ridge line that separates Fourth Recess from the Little Lakes Valley area around Bear Creek Spire. And you look at that ridge and you're just like, damn, there is no way that you're getting over that and into Little Lakes Valley. But there is. And I saw like a little tiny notch on the map where they, turn on slope angle shading, and there's like a little strip of red through the purple. And I'm like, I think that'll go. And I went with my buddy Jay Armstrong, and we went and scouted this in like August 2024. That was really the first time that I had looked at something that had no beta anywhere on the internet or in any guidebook and said, I wonder if this goes, and then went and did it and found out that it did. It was really satisfying, and I'm very proud of that line.
It's currently raining lightly, although the wind was going crazy for a minute there. Basically deciding whether I want to continue up higher into fourth recess, because the exit pass is a little tricky and I don't want to do it while it's raining. Well, this is not great. I need to go up there, and it's in a cloud. Very brief update. I took a little break to warm up in my tent because I was getting too cold. It's just been consistently raining, and forecast shows it's going to rain into tomorrow. So it looks like it just stopped, and I have a very maybe short window that I can try to shoot up this. It sucks because fourth recess is, it's really hard to get into, and it's really hard to get out of. Woo! Oh my god. This is so stupid. I'm up at 12:08, and it's snowing, and I'm in a cloud. And that pass was so hard. Class 3 pass, I was nauseous. And oh my god, I need to get down, but oh my god. I am so glad I fucking made it. Oh my god.
It connects to a section of the route that sort of just like ups the intensity. So it just like once you start fourth recess, you're in it. Like it just doesn't stop until you get to Lake Italy. Because right after fourth recess, you go over North Col, which is a 13,000 foot pass on the main Sierra crest, with stunning views from the top. But it's brutal. So that's kind of what I mean when I'm talking about like the intensity of this route. Like, I don't even know if I was in good enough shape for it when I thru-hiked it.
Continuing on, despite a pretty unfavorable forecast. But really today, if I can just get over North Col before it starts storming, which is supposed to be around 1, I'll be in pretty good shape. Man, last night was... I don't have time to tell the story of last night, but it was not good though. It's Christmas! Up on North Col. What am I doing? Gotta go right up there. What a shit situation. This is the last little bit I'm gonna record for a while. I'm gonna stow the camera. I just got down from North Col, navigated down on a compass bearing in this whiteout. Gonna get down to Lake Italy and figure it out from there.
I was truly scared exiting fourth recess and going over North Col. Both are high-level cross-country passes that require navigational precision to avoid dangerous terrain. Not an easy task in whiteout conditions. On North Col, an inch or so of wet powder had accumulated on the talus, making the descent particularly harrowing. To make matters worse, my phone had died and my paper maps were on the wrong page in their Ziploc, so I was left to navigate around the lurking cliff bands on the slope down to Lake Italy, based only on my memory from my previous scouting trip. When I reached the lake, I was freezing and my nerves were shot. All I could do was eat a snack and hike as fast as I could around the lake to try and warm up.
Made it up to Italy Pass. Can't see anything really, but at least it's not snowing. Onward.
Morale was incredibly low as I hiked from Italy Pass through Granite Park and toward Royce Lakes. I knew from having scouted Royce Lakes back in August that it was the most beautiful section on the route, and sadly, I knew I wasn't going to see really any of it. I didn't even bring my camera when I scouted Royce Lakes, but the truly ethereal lighting I had on that trip helped my humble iPhone SE punch quite a bit above its weight.
I don't know if I'd be exaggerating if I called it the most beautiful place I've been in the Sierra, but it's Royce Lakes. You have like three massive lakes. Two of them are massive, and then they get a little bit smaller as you go down the chain. But it's this really cool visual effect where the horizon seems to just extend infinitely, and it looks like these lakes are just like falling over the edge of the world. And it's framed by these incredible pyramid-shaped peaks. Royce Lakes is just otherworldly. And when I saw that on the map, I thought, this has gotta look cool. And so I went there and it does, and I was like, oh my God, this has to be on the route.
My core temperature dropped steadily as I carried on through Royce Lakes, my mind filling in the beautiful scene around me as my eyes provided constant reminders of my bleak situation. I couldn't afford to stop as I pushed across a windswept plateau down to Pine Creek Pass, where I spent a damp, defeated night.
I don't know what I think is going to dry in this humidity.
I awoke to find my shelter so caked in frost that I couldn't get it inside my pack. The sky was clear, but the air was cold, and I was worried what the day would bring. As I climbed away from Pine Creek Pass, I looked back across the plateau I had crossed the night before, sad to have missed its grand sweeping views. But I could see the sun peeking out from behind the crest, and began to feel hopeful for the first time in 2 days.
My God, if I ever needed a reset dry, it's today.
I felt the frozen core of my body thaw as the sun finally emerged from behind the ridge, and the world felt like the first warm day after a long, dark winter. Perhaps the gods of Sierra weather were sympathetic to my dream of completing the ESHR and decided to grant me one last window to get it done.
After Royce Lakes, you kind of stay up close to the crest and you cross into Humphreys Basin at a higher point than the Sierra High Route does, and you approach Desolation Lake from above. So on the Sierra High Route, you see it from below, like south and a bit west of Desolation Lake, and it's okay. But looking at Desolation Lake, which is a massive body of water from above, with a bit of the glacier divide behind it, it's stunning. And that was another one where I thought it'd be cool when I was looking at the map, but then when I got there and saw it, I was so happy that it was essentially as cool as I was expecting. Yeah, and then it's just a stroll through Humphreys Basin. It's one of the only breaks that you get on the route.
All right, so right now, just cruising on through Humphreys Basin. Our next objective will be Alpine Col, the obvious V-shaped notch on the horizon there. It's been a while since I've done that one. It was actually my first off-trail pass ever. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like, or how I find it now, like 7 years later. Oh, I love the view up here. It's been a while. Climb was not too bad. It took about 40 minutes from the bottom I think I was very off route the first time I descended that. I think this is my favorite view from the Glacier Divide, looking south from Alpine. It's really cool.
After Alpine Col, a hiker on the ESHR passes by one gorgeous lake after another, leading all the way up into Darwin Canyon. I spent the night there, tucked away in a secret hidey hole of talus. On the final morning of the trip, I was met with a true alpine scene. The first morning light washed over the summits of Darwin Canyon and provided just the encouragement I needed to pack up and get moving. I began the final stretch of the route with some difficulty, my legs stubbornly protesting the continued vertical gain, and I didn't quite feel myself as I inched my way up Darwin Col.
Heading up to do Darwin Col, almost to the top. It's the notch just down from the pointy peak there. I think I'm getting too exhausted to do any more set up the tripod and walk shots, so I think it's going to be a lot of this for the rest of the day. For the rest of the day, I'm pretty shot. Man, is Darwin Col a tough climb. Super long, tons of talus. I don't remember it being that hard the last time I did it, but right now I am super fatigued. I'm feeling it really bad. So I'm going to be really, really relieved when I get down this gully here. Just going to have to take it slow. As you can see, it's a super steep, loose gully. And then I'll be home free, probably less than 10 miles to the car after that. I hope should be less than 10. I think it's like 9 or something. Oh my god. Yeah, bitch! Feels really good to be down here. You can see most of the rest of the route from here. That right there is Topsy-Turvy Pass. You'll go down the other side to Baboon Lakes, and then up through the drainage quite a ways and go over Ski Mountaineers Peak. And once you cross Ski Mountaineers Peak, you're over Thompson Ridge, and it's basically home free. So it's a lot, but I think I can get it all done today. I better get it all done today because I'll be out of food, and my pad sprung a leak last night, so I cannot spend another fucking night out. Up on Topsy-Turvy. Again, harder than I remember. I think I'm just spent. Okay, so that is Ski Mountaineers.
I'll talk about the finale of the route a little bit. You go over Thompson Ridge, which is a high spur that kind of shoots off from the main Sierra crest. And there's a peak right along it near the crest called Ski Mountaineers Peak. The coolest part about it is how you get over the ridge and to the other side, where you'll hike out to South Lake and finish the route. The way you get over the shoulder of ski mountaineers is this window, like a talus window. So you like kind of squeeze and shimmy through this talus window at 13,000 feet, and then boom, you're on the other side, and you have these incredible views of the glaciated areas, like just underneath the main crest there, and you can see some like little teal tarns spotting the landscape.
I was already spent going into the climb of Ski Mountaineers Peak. It was the final objective, and I used every last ounce of energy I had getting over it. Some of which would be wasted panicking over an incoming thunderstorm, climbing too high, and needing to backtrack. But hey, what fun would it be if it were easy?
Gonna go around that cliff band there, up and around, and then eventually cross into that gully. Take the gully up to the top there, that gap. I'm up around that cliff band that I pointed out from down below. I'm going to go around the right side of it here and continue on up toward the gully. Now got Ski Mountaineers in view. Just gonna finish wrapping around the cliff band here.
I'm gonna take a second here and admit that my panic in the upcoming clips hardly feels justified. But given my experience just over 24 hours prior, and being so close to accomplishing this goal, I was not about to have it squashed at the last minute by a routine afternoon thunderstorm.
In the gully, just catching my breath, trying to go as fast as I can, because clouds are gathering. Gotta get right up there. I made it up, 13,000 something. There's a little window at the top. I'm not gonna film myself going through it, because look up there. I don't want to stay up here. Thankfully, the backside is way faster. It's a scree ski, so I'm just gonna get down it right now. Woohoo! Woo!
I laughed and cried to myself as I ran down the backside of Ski Mountaineers Peak. It hit me all at once that the dream I had been chasing for 3 summers had finally played out. The route was so much more to me than a successful project. It had been one of the most significant adventures of my life. I felt the idea of the ESHR transform, as it was forged from dream into memory in real time. And I carried that feeling with me, past picturesque tarns and cascading falls, on my way down to the Treasure Lakes Trail. There I was met with the hailstorm that had been threatening me on Ski Mountaineers Peak. A fitting companion for the last 2 miles of my journey on the Eastern Sierra High Route.